Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Next in this little series I'm doing, we're going to talk about GMRS. Definitely the most popular thing in radio today, without any question. Anybody that argues that is just silly. So for the general public who's just looking to get a radio for close communications, off-roading, camping, hunting, maybe the prepper, this would be good for you prepper guys. This would be about the best thing out there. Ham radio is not your answer. Would be GMRS. Now, that stands for General Mobile Radio Service. Now, you need a license for this. However, there's no test. You just pay the FCC $35 and you will be given a license. That $35 just basically goes so that they can monitor how many people are using the service in a certain area and how popular it is, so they don't sell off those frequencies to other groups, right? So you're given, GMRS operates in the 70 centimeter band, roughly a little smaller than that. We talked about this in all of the other videos, so we'll just do it in this one too. That means the sine wave is about 2.5 feet long, roughly. I'll put up a picture of that. A sine wave is measured from, it has a negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, and that all happens at about 2.5 feet. And the frequencies it operates on, I wrote it down up here, 462.562 megahertz to 462.725 megahertz for simplex. We'll talk about the repeater in just a second. So basically all that means is it's doing that cycle, that frequency, that up, down, up, down, up, down. I should have some pictures in there. About 462.5625 to 462.725 million times a second as it travels through the atmosphere at the speed of light. Advantages of it, it's a Ginsu knife, baby. It cuts through buildings, not at all easily deflected. Much better than like CB radio or something like that. You're talking in FM, so it's crystal clear. You're allowed up to 50 watts. Now, you have the 22 channels. You're allowed, depending on what channel, and you get in this, they'll give you a list. Anywhere from a half a watt. There's 7 channels there in the middle that's a half a watt. That's designed for handhelds only. In fact, my GMRS mobile up here will not even, it doesn't go down to half a watt, so I'm sure I could override it, but I haven't. Those 7 channels it won't even transmit on. Unlike the other ones, you can have a detachable antenna, you can have a mobile antenna. So you're anywhere from a half a watt to 50 watts, so much more power. Most of them, the top 7 you can have 5, then a half a watt, then the rest is 50 watts. You can have handhelds with detachable antennas, mobile units, will extend your range over like the MERS and the FRS that we talked about earlier. You also have 8 repeater channels. Depending on where you're at, I have a GMRS repeater in my area. I'll try to find a picture of that, how our repeater works, but basically, let's just say right here, up, they usually put them pretty high as a repeater. Way over here you have a station, and way over here you have a station. These 2 stations can't talk to each other, but each of them can hit that repeater, and that repeater basically rebroadcasts it. So say your range is like, I don't know, let's just say that's 20 miles. Well, now you can increase it to 40 miles by the use of a repeater. That's a very rudimentary little diagram I had there. I'll try to put something up there. Now, the repeater frequencies, they're a little higher in frequencies. You will, the way that works is when you key the mic, your radio will automatically switch. You go in on one frequency and it rebroadcasts on another. And that moves you up to the 467 megahertz range. You have, most of it is in FM, but now you get a little bit of data, not quite the data we have in ham radio, but GPS coordinates you can share, text messaging. Your radios will have to do that. I don't even have a GMRS radio that'll do that, but that is available. So you have FM and a little bit of data, and just much extended range. So GMRS is definitely hands down the most popular service out there for the guy that's not like me or us that are really into radios, into the hobby. They don't want to test for ham radio, but they'd like something much, much better than like a CB radio in their Jeep when they're out four-wheeling. Maybe communication with neighbors or whatever. I have my whole neighborhood set up on FRS and GMRS radios for a neighborhood watch and emergency weather type thing. And hey, sometimes the girls just get on there and see if someone's got sugar or paper plates. So very cool. Don't need FRS, you don't need a license for. GMRS you do, but no test, just pay the money and you're done. What else can I say about GMRS? That's about it. It's a great service, and extremely popular today for the guy that would like to have some radio communications, but is not the full-on radio nerd that wants to, take their test and move up the ladder in ham radio, which we'll get to next. So just a short video in this sequence of GMRS. Quite a bit of activity, actually. I have this scanning all the time. I pick up people all the time. Way more than 2 meter and 440 on ham radio bands. Just traveling through, talking car to car. People around town in my local area have FRS and GMRS. Extremely popular for anybody that wants some kind of radio communication, but doesn't want the old school CB with the big antennas, and doesn't want to take the step up into ham radio. I don't think they know about the FRS. They probably know about FRS. They should, because they share the same frequencies. Except FRS, of course, doesn't have repeaters. But you're very limited on power on FRS. So to increase your range significantly, it's worth the $35 to get your GMRS license. And you can use 50 watts, much better antennas, much better radios. All right, guys, that's it. Next, we'll get into next week or the week after, whenever I have time, we'll get into what I call the big leagues of radio. If you really want to get into radio and it's something you're interested in, then of course ham radio is the top of the food chain as far as radios go. So we'll talk about that. That might be a pretty long video. I'll have to do some thinking how much I want to cover, because it's a lot. It is a huge hobby with lots of stuff in there, from a massive amount of digital modes to FM, AM, sideband, up to 1500 watts, worldwide communications. Talk to people all over the globe on a regular basis. So, all right, guys, but there's a lot of knowledge needed to do that. Significant amount of money you're going to need to invest in equipment and antennas. So it's not for everybody. GMRS, simple, $100, you got a great mobile rig and an antenna. $30, you got a great little 10 watt, 10 watt, whatever. Half a watt to 10 watt radio that you can use on the channels, a little handheld, Bofang, or whatever you want to do. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. That's my GMRS antenna. That is the local repeater, just identifying itself. So what time is it? They usually do their little radio check around 6 o'clock. So about 20 or 30 guys that do that here on the GMRS repeater every Sunday night. All right, guys, have a good one. God bless you. Bye now.